Hi guys, welcome to our channel and our first video. My name is Samveg. I'm a software engineer at Microsoft and have successfully failed one startup.
I'm Kuldeep. I'm a software engineer at Goldcast and I failed my startup too. So, welcome to the series of entrepreneurship guide for college students. Here, we will share everything that a college student should know before and while running their startup in college.
So welcome to the first chapter. We all have seen pictures, Silicon Valley, the social network and whatnot, and have always dreamed of having our own company. But the first step is to decide which idea to pursue, if you have many, or whether you should pursue your idea or not.
We will share our experience about that, what might have gone wrong, and will help you make the right decision.
So let's start with the process to make the decision. We always have a dilemma of choosing one of the many ideas we all have or pursue that one idea which we think is $1 million idea.
So, let's start with our journey. How did we start? Happy Chases. Happy Chase is a digital publishing company aiming to become the leading platform for productivity, good mental health, and self finance related blogs, guides, and articles. I was always interested in writing and finding tips on productivity, mental health, finance, etc. However, I could not find one such platform where I could get it all together back in 2017. So I started my own blog and later turned it into a digital publishing company. I learned that everyone has a different approach of learning, and what works for one might not be the best approach for the another person. Often the blogs and articles that we find online are quite bookish and are not everyone can relate to them. And often they just read it and it just does not help them. So I wanted to tell those section of people who could not relate with those bookish resources that it is perfectly okay. Like you're unique, and just because something does not work for you does not mean that you're not productive or cannot be productive. Hence, I wanted to build an online resource platform which might benefit the mass. Initially, my audience started appreciating my blogs and articles, which boosted me to do more, to bring such people who can share their own life hacks or experiences and not just the bookish hack or trick. That also reminds me that you two are doing something with saving lives of people. May throw some more light on it.
Thanks, Pradeep. Yeah, so Avsar.life started as an anti-suicide platform. We then later pivoted to mental health platform where we help students and other professionals in maintaining their mental health through our positive feeds, anonymous forums, and counseling. The name initially was Avsar, and while looking for the domain, we found that Avsar.life was available, and hence it all seemed perfect and made sense, and hence the name was there. The idea came when we started seeing suicides around us, from first year students committing suicide to PhD students doing the same. So then suddenly one day, Kuldeep, if you remember, you got an email.
Yeah, that was very terrifying night.
Exactly. That mail mentioned that you were the only kind person, and hence receiving this mail from a very particular person mentioning that this was their last email and he's gonna commit suicide. You were nerved for few minutes, which is understandable, and called me. Then we called a few professors of ours and our batchmates. Fortunately, that one life was saved. But what about those hundreds and thousands others? So I thought there's a huge need. I happened to check the NCRB data, and 28 students died of committing suicide every day in 2018. Can you just imagine that? That's almost one student every hour. So we ran a pan India survey and found out that 33% of the students were either in depression now or in the past. And almost all of them wanted an anonymous platform to share their feelings out. So the key factors that I'll say that made me pursue this thing was the instance, that one particular instance that occurred to you. The survey that we took out and the numbers were horrifying. And obviously, the team who believed in this idea and was willing to work for it. We, this takes me back to the second year where we had a pitching competition. If you remember, Kuldeep, right before the competition, we had that idea and we did pitch that idea to the investors. Would you like to tell more about that?
Yeah, definitely. I do remember it. The last minute hustle and the investors were impressed as well. Yeah. So one of my friend, like who also happens to be a medical student, told me that they need carbs to understand the human body, to understand the human anatomy, and it is not very often when they get such specific carbs to study a specific subject in forensics and other similar topics that they study. And there are like a lot of similar instances in almost all the industries, be it manufacturing, education, military, like everything is affected by this. So nowadays everything is digitalizing, and I got the idea like why can't we virtualize our laboratory so that the shortage of such availability does not affect the learning. So yeah, it was like it was quite impressive idea, and investors loved it as well. But can you please throw some light on why we could not pursue it back then?
That was a fun event. That was a fun time. The idea was great, almost perfect. Who doesn't want to wear a cool VR headset and then learn about stuff than just reading a plain simple textbook, right? But let's be honest, we already had different startups and we thought it's best to keep our foot on one boat. Timing was another big issue. Augmented reality, virtual reality, or now what they're known as mixed reality, wasn't really at its peak in 2017. It's not even now at its peak. But then things were not even that great and easily available. And we were just second year students that this is a cost intensive project. We couldn't afford 30,000 VR headsets. We didn't have the technical expertise in that field either, right? So now things look much more on our side. Kuldeep. Why aren't we pursuing it now?
Yes, we're not running any startup as of now. We are, as we mentioned, that like we are well-paid software developers. We are capable enough to bear the cost as well, and we believe that we can easily grow a technical expertise in AR VR if we give it time with the current level of our experience and learning curve. But the idea is quite futuristic as of now. It is like it is costly from end user perspective, and we all are not Tony Stark who can afford it. Timing is still doubtful since most of our target customers can buy the bulk headsets in bulk, and honestly, we don't have Wakanda in our real life, which can build it for us in no time. So
Correct.
yeah, that was about MR EduTech. Since this video is for you guys, how do you take your decision? Some way.
Correct. So it's you rationalize things as they are. Now, what does this mean, right? Let's consider and break this into three scenarios. First is obviously that you have many ideas. We all have a couple of ideas which you want to work on. So how do you choose that one idea that you should work on? Or you might have that one idea which you think is a $1 billion idea. Or you might be an expert on something and you want to do something very unique in that field. It's very simple but tricky.
You study the problem and do a survey. Like, is a problem actually in your mind, or is it actually a problem? Like everyone feels that, that every idea is a problem, like that. So there are many ways to do that, but I will let you decide how you want to do this.
Correct. Once you are sure that the problem is actually a problem and it's persuasive and people need a solution, you think about all the possible solutions. You need to be unbiased to your original idea and be open to change. So let's consider this as an example. Let's consider this a problem where say you want to hold one of your ears, right? You want to hold one of your ears. Now your initial idea was to hold the ears like this, and it is a possible solution, right? You can hold. But if you look at all the possible solutions, one of the solutions is that you can hold it like this, and it's more easy for your customers. It's It's solving the problem in a better way. That's why you need to be open to changes and be unbiased and look for all the possible existing solutions.
Yes, definitely, Sam. Adding to it, your skill plus usefulness is the key. Like eating pizza might be a skill, but is it actually useful for the mass with whom you are trying to do the business? This is the real question. So every problem may not need tech to solve it. Like there might be straightforward solution, and we are just increasing the complexity by going with the buzzwords like tech, app, data science, machine learning, and all those things.
Well, you got me there definitely. You analyze the practicality of the solution and please learn about design thinking. You can obviously find some good resources in the description below. Last and most important, you need to find the people who actually believe in this idea and are willing to work for it. If you meet these criteria, what are you waiting for? Start up.
Thanks for watching the video. In the coming videos, we'll be covering how to research your idea,
How to build a team, how to start,
what is an MVP, and how to build an MVP.
when to launch, and how to get the correct tools and resources as students for your startup, and many more things. Stay tuned for all those videos. Do like the video if you found this useful. Share it with your friends who might want to see this.
Also, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Till then, stay safe.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up to the party, roll up.